Well, hello guys, how's it going today? And today we're going to be checking out the Oculus Rift. Finally, the Oculus Rift is at a reasonable price of $399 instead of its regular price of $600. This is a bundle from the Summer of Rift event that's been going on, and you can get the Oculus Rift and touch controllers both at a reasonable price of $399. This is amazing. Okay, I bought the bundle I got was from Best Buy, and it gives you a free game, which is EVGA for free if you buy the bundle at Best Buy. Okay, now that I have the Oculus Rift on my hand, it's time to step into the Rift. Whew. Before you even think about buying or getting the Oculus Rift, you must have a set of specs ready to run VR. Okay, these are the specs that Oculus recommends you to have to be able to enjoy VR correctly or properly. The specs it says is a GTX 970 or better, 8 gigs of RAM, and an i5 4590 equivalent or greater. The most important part being the graphics card. I'll show you my specs in a moment, but I've been playing VR for a week or so, and I've gone and tested many games and to see if my PC can handle it, and the answer of all the testing I've done has given me the conclusion that yes, I can run VR with these specs. The specs are an i7 2600, a GTX 1070, and a 16 gigs of RAM. This specs is the specs that I've been running VR, and it works perfectly fine. I haven't had any big issues with this setup at all. Just make sure to close any unnecessary background apps that you might have in the background. Everything should be fine, but if you're running my specs, Oculus does give you a warning saying that your CPU is not powerful enough to handle VR, and I hate it when they say it, but it's true. They just have this little warning on top that just says your PC is powerful enough to run it, which is complete BS because I've been running it just fine. I know it's an old processor. The 2600 is an old processor, but it is working perfectly fine. So you're not really forced to get a newer processor. It does help, but it's not really forced. But the most important thing, I believe, has to be the GPU. If you have a good GPU, you should be fine. Let's get to the setup process. Well, the first thing you get to do is go to the oculus.com/setup and download the Oculus tool. Run it, and the first thing it's going to tell you to do is to make an Oculus account. Once you do that, you're going to get prompt to connect your headset and sensors to your PC, and then continue with the setup process. And then there's a big important part which tells you that you have to set up both your sensors that came with the bundle, and you can place them wherever you want. The Oculus really doesn't tell you. I mean, it does recommend you where you should place them. And after tinkering around with the sensors, I found that the best place to have them is in front of my monitor and just face the monitor and face the sensors, really, because you must have this nailed. You must have the placement of these sensors nailed, because if you do not, it will be very hard. You're gonna have a really hard experience if you do not have these, if the tracking is not good. Okay, you must have these nailed. If you have 3 sensors, you really don't have a problem. Just put one sensor behind you or in a place where, yeah, it could just cover your backside. If you have that, that's perfectly fine. But if you have the 2 that come with the bundle, then you gotta be tinker a little bit with your room until you find the best place to put them. Now, let's talk about my first experience with the Rift. When I first placed the Rift on my head, it felt weird. It's nothing like a cardboard VR, obviously, right? It's 100 times better and more immersive. One thing that I noticed was the first time I put it in was a nose gap at the bottom. It's a noticeable gap in the nose area of the Oculus headset, but because I suppose it's there because it's supposed to fit all types of heads. But the real question is, does it bother you when you're actually playing or using VR? No, it does not. Really, it doesn't. If it does bother you at first, just put the headset closer to your head and just strap it as hard as you can to your head, or just turn off the lights. Doing both of these should completely remove the issue. At first I thought that was a problem, but after first time entering VR, it just disappeared completely because you're going to be so immersed in what's happening, you're not even going to be thinking about that. Okay, let's talk about the first thing you will experience with VR. After setting up your touch controllers, your sensors, the headset, everything, you're gonna be welcomed into VR with a cool little game. Yeah, I call it a game. It's practically a tutorial and introduction to VR, and it teaches you how to use your touch controllers. Now, the first thing that happens is this little robot appears, giving you cartridges. Each cartridge it's like a type of mini game. From that mini game, you will learn different ways your touch controllers can be used for certain situations. That there's a part where it gives you a gun, there's a part where it gives you like a rocket, and you have to use both of your hands. This time you can grab stuff, anything around your environment, and it's so freaking cool. It's one of the best tutorials, introductions I've ever, experience. It's just amazing. And after I've did this, and it greets you, and you're finished with this amazing introduction, you're about to step into VR, which is this cool little room. Now I can't record it, but it's only available in the headset itself, and it's like this awesome cool little room where it has all the applications. It has a store, and it's everything there. And after I finished that, I instantly downloaded a couple of games, and the first game I tried was EVGA. This game completely immerses you in that world. It's so awesome. Looking around your cockpit is one of the coolest things ever. I mean, you really feel like you're in this humongous ship, and every time you look outside, you look around, you see these enormous cannons at your side, and the size of it all is incredible. And that's the most amazing thing about VR that I've seen. What makes VR so immersive has to be the size, okay? The size of everything makes things so real. Doesn't matter what experience you are immersed in, everything is just so, it's a curiosity, okay? Everything from doors to trees to robots that you're shooting in the head to grabbing and looking at them. Everything in VR will immerse you in such a way that words just cannot describe. You must try VR for yourself and see. If you can, go ahead to your Microsoft store and try it for yourself, because that's the only way you're really gonna understand what VR is. Because I can tell you how amazing it is and how cool it is, but really, the only way you're really gonna be impressed is when you first try it for yourself. The Oculus Rift and touch controllers are the best when it comes to immersion. Really, the touch controllers really do scan your fingers in very cool ways, because the touch controllers really do track your fingers, and it's really cool because the HTC Vive doesn't do that. Maybe they do that in the future, but it doesn't do it now. And the touch controllers do actually track your fingers, and you can do high fives, you can do thumbs up, and point at things, and that just adds to the immersion and makes things so cool. One of the best controllers I ever even had. It's just amazing. Now, the tracking is not perfect. You have to understand that. If you have a third sensor, that will really make things excellent. Having a third sensor, it really will bring the experience to its maximum potential if you have a third sensor, but you really don't need it. Oculus thinks too, it's perfectly fine, and I believe it's too. But there are games, for example, as Dead and Buried, that require you to crouch and hide. Not only do you need quite some space to play this game, and when you turn around or you have to hide in a certain way, if your controllers are obstructed, the sensors can't see them, everything, they go crazy. They just like fly and just glitch around until they face the sensors. Another example of this is Robo Recall. I love this game, one of my favorite games. It comes for free with the touch controllers. I really do love this game. It's so fun and it's cool. It's a short game, but it has a lot of replayability. If you have two sensors, you will always have to be facing them, of course, because if you turn around because there's an enemy behind you, and the game knows you're facing behind the sensor, it tells you a message. It tells you a message saying, please face the sensors, and the best thing you can do, it's really it tells you that while you're in VR, it does warn you, hey, you're not facing the sensors, and you're not facing the sensors, it might go crazy, so face the sensors and rotate. And the way it in Robo Recall works, you have a teleportation. Yeah, you've seen this before. You can teleport and you can face using the joystick. It helps you face what direction to go. And all of these games are very comfortable. They're not really that much how do you call it? They really won't give you motion sickness or VR sickness. Not like a Minecraft VR. Really, that's the game that really will cause you some, might make you really make you nauseous. So in conclusion, VR, it's the next playing field, the new sandbox, the next frontier in gaming. Is VR worth it, you might be asked? Yes, completely yes. If you have the money and you have the PC, go get this now. At least while it's still, this offer is still, we don't know if the offer will stay after the event, but if you can get it now, buy it now, and you know, you're gonna have a blast with it. There's so many games to play on both Steam and the Oculus Store. They will keep you entertained and immersed for quite a while, especially the horror games. I gotta say, horror games are so immersive, like they are the best. And of course, there's the another part I really enjoyed more is multiplayer games. And co-op games are the coolest of all, because you can see people, actual people, and interact with them. You're not even close to them in real life, but in VR, they could be right in front of you. You can talk to them. The Oculus does have a little microphone, and you can actually talk to these people. You can interact with them in VR. You can say high five, like in Dead and Buried. You can say thumbs up and all types of things and tell them. And I really cannot wait to see what VR takes us. It's gonna be amazing. And you know, there's so many things right now, like throwing dicks in space in like an arena, or maybe killing Zeds in Killing the Floor VR. That's I definitely. I bought that game. That's the game that that's the game I really want to play. I cannot wait to play Killing Floor in VR. This game should be released the 16th of August, which I believe by the time this video is up, it could be this already past last week or this week. And the point is, VR is just amazing, and there is so much to come. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, click that like button below. And you want to watch more content, please subscribe. And until next time, guys, goodbye.